Welcome everyone, welcome to the latest episode in the series My GoPro and Paralenz Journey. In this episode we're going to review the Tovatec Fusion 1500 video light and flashlight, underwater flashlight. So you can use it either as a flashlight or you can use it as a video light. And I've bought two of these. One of our local dive shops had a very good offer on 40% discount. So I thought, why not? If they're not good as video lights, I'll use them as torches. Tovatec's a company based in Colorado in the US, and their literature states that their lights are ANSI certified, American National Standards Institute certified. So that gives me confidence in what they say with regard to lumens and how long the battery will last, which I will be testing, is accurate. And I am going to try and make a lumen tester. I'm not sure yet. I've ordered some components. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that, but if I can, I'll be using these lights because they are ANSI certified as my reference lights, so then I can test other lights that I'm going to test in the series. So if we just look here at the specs that are printed on the box, we've got 1500 lumens, we've got an hour and 45-minute runtime on the rechargeable battery, 2 hours 30 minutes on alkaline batteries, 3 AAA batteries, and we've got an adjustable beam. This is something I quite like. So we can go up to 100 degrees, which we would use on video, or down to 12 degrees if we want to just have a narrower beam, focusing on an object. And it's got a depth rating of 100 meters, which is great for me because I'm not going deeper than 100 meters. So let's just have a look. Very nice case. Those of you who saw my Suix scooter review, my biggest gripe with the Suix was the case that they put all the accessories in. It was cheap and nasty. Suix, please use something like this, it's really nice. So let's have a look. What have we got? Here's the torch. CE marked, so it also complies with European standards. Okay, that's it there. It's got an overpressure valve on the back, and I believe, yeah, that's how you adjust the beam. That's narrow, that's wide. Very nice, looks very well built. And we've got the charger, lithium rechargeable battery. Let's just put that in, I'm going to charge that. This is nice, 2 spare O-rings. That must mean it has a double O-ring seal. Excellent, thank you Tovatec, I like double O-ring seals. Charging cables, it just goes into a regular charging plug, adapter for the 3 AAAs, and a lanyard. Again, a nice touch. They didn't have to include that, but they did. So, and then instruction manual and the specification sheet again. Hold on. These specs on the burn time are different to what's printed on the box. So we've got a burn time with a rechargeable battery on the specs of 2 hours, 1 hour 45 on the box. And with the alkaline batteries, we've got a burn time of 3.5 hours, 2 hours 30 on the box. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drop them an email. Now most manufacturers don't reply, but let's see if they do. They've got about 10 days, because it's going to take me 10 days to get underwater and finish this review. I wouldn't say that's worrying, I would say it's confusing, because I'm happy with the run times that are printed on the box, burn times. I haven't got a problem with those. But why include a different spec inside the case? Maybe one's European standard testing, maybe one's ANSI. There might be a simple answer. Right, I finally made my homemade light lumen tester. I found a fellow YouTuber guy called Matt Smith who suggested you could make an easy lumen tester just using a styrofoam box, which is what I've done. There is a link in the description below to his channel where he shows people how to do this, so you can check it all out there. And the first use of this box is going to be to test the burn times on the Tovatec Fusion 1500. Remember, in the introduction I found there was a disparity between the specifications contained inside the case and what was written outside the case. I've been in contact with Tovatec and they did reply. That was really good. And their official burn times, as you can see in the email, are 2 hours for the rechargeable batteries and 3 hours for the alkaline. Then they said that what's written on the packaging is the absolute minimum, but their specs are 2 hours for the rechargeable and 3 hours for the alkaline. They didn't tell me if that's to 0 or to a percentage, but we're going to find out after those times what percentage of lumens output is still there. Right, so the other thing that they asked me to do was, when we run the torches, or the flashlights in America, sorry, is to keep them in water, which we've got here. So before we do that, I'll take you through the lumen tester setup. This is a styrofoam box. I painted the outside black because I did have light bleed coming through the box when I tested it. Inside is white, and you can see I've got a lux meter here, and then inside I've got the sensor, the light sensor. So we'll shoot the light to the back wall and it'll bounce back and we'll get the measurement. These are also, because they're ANSI certified lights, they're also going to be my reference lumens, because I'm using a lux meter and I don't want to get into the science of light measurement, but if I measure lights using this box, I know they're 1500 lumens. I'll get a factor that I can apply to my readings, which will tell me, is the manufacturer being honest with his lumen ratings or not. Because especially on the lights I buy on AliExpress, I find a lot of contradictory information. Of course, if you buy torches or video lights from one of the really reputable brands, they will do what they say on the packaging or the specification. So with no further ado, let's start our test. In this torch I've got the fully charged rechargeable battery that comes with the flashlight, and in this one, where I've put a piece of masking tape on, hope it doesn't come off in the water, are the 3 AA alkalis, and these are the Energizer Max Plus, so they're the most powerful I could find in the store. So I need to get my stopwatch. There it is. Okay, and we'll start with the rechargeable first. Put it into there, and we'll switch it on. And we'll cover that and we'll see what our reading is. So this is times 100, so we've got 281 lux times 100, which means it's 28,100 lux. Now we'll remove the light without switching it off, because remember we're doing the burn time test, and we'll submerge it. Okay, now we'll get the second light, put it in. This is with the alkaline batteries. Just let it close down properly. And we've actually got a much lower lumens. That is really strange. We're at 157 times 1, and these are brand new alkaline batteries that I bought just this morning. So that means we are at 15,300 lux. So it does seem that the rechargeable do give you more lumens. really strange, really. Can't really explain it. But at least it does prove that my rechargeable is fully charged. Yes, and it doesn't look, if you look in the box, it doesn't look as bright. So, I don't know why that is, but it's a test. So we take this one out and into the, and if you look at them side by side, you can definitely see you get a much more intense, higher power light from the rechargeable battery. Okay, so we'll be back in 2 hours to take a reading on the rechargeable battery and see if it's still, that's if it's still functioning, of course. We're coming up to the 2 hour mark. Both lights are still quite bright. So for sure, I think the rechargeable is going to exceed the 2 hour burn time that Tovatec said to me. The alkali also looks strong. Remember, it started off not as bright, and but it stayed about the same. So let's just get the rechargeable out. Let's dry it off. Put it into our in anticipation, and we have dropped a little bit more. I think the charge light's on the torch. I think the charge will drop off greatly now, but we're still at over 15,000 lux. Oh, okay, so now we'll take this torch out. This is the one with the rechargeable in, back into the water, and we'll just have a quick check of the one with, now the charge light seems to be on, which would suggest that it's losing charge. And there we are with the alkalines. We're down at 3,400 lux. So yeah, there is quite a drop off in power there. So it's kind of looking like, you know, use these lights with the rechargeable battery. But let's see, we're going to continue now to 3 hours and see what results we get. We missed the 3 hours just by a few minutes, but it's good to see that the alkaline batteries are still going relatively strong. Let's just get this in and we'll have a look at the lux reading. We're just going to lux, straight lux now, so we're down to 818, around 808 lux. So yeah, the battery's well on its way out now, but it has lasted over 3 hours. So I think that's pretty good. It's not as strong as the rechargeable, but I think all in all, pretty good. We'll talk about this more in the summary. Okay, so just a quick summary before we go on to the rest of the testing and the video. I think the lights performed okay in the runtime tests. The rechargeable battery for me is the only way to go. It was a much brighter light, you could see that, and the loss of light, so to speak, was much less than with the alkalines. After I think 2 hours, it still had about 55% of its power, and it was nice and bright still, and the alkalines had only 22% of their power, and at the end of 3 hours the alkalines only had 8%. You know, you could still use it, but I don't think the alkaline batteries are the way to go. I will, when I get a bit of time, try some other batteries, Energizer, do some lithium batteries, and I'll try maybe some other brands and just repeat that to make sure I've been fair. But on the face of it, you know, the alkaline batteries for me wouldn't really be an option unless, you know, I wanted to do a night dive and I couldn't charge up the rechargeable. Yes, I'd whack in a set of alkalines. So yeah, that's the light test done. Now we're going to go underwater and we're going to kick off with looking at the beams and see how they are. One of the things I liked about the Fusion 1500
is the variable beam angle, which means you could use it as a video light at 100 degrees, and then you can reduce the angle down to 12, it's variable in between, and then use it as a regular dive torch. You can see here where I'm using the torch at night on a dive on Snoopy Rock, where I produced my crab video. I've got the beam set at its lowest at 12 degrees, and you do get quite a nice light, but you do get bleed out of the edges. I would rather not have that, but it's good enough for me. And you can see now when I switch it to 100 degrees, you get a very nice smooth light with no hot spots, and that's what makes it in my mind really useful as a video light. I use it in a single light setup at the moment, because when I put two lights on, as you can see in this picture, it became very heavy and difficult to use. So if I had flotation arms, which I do intend to purchase, or I have purchased, I'm just waiting for them, then I would use the two lights. But you can see now on that night dive some pictures. Look at these peacock tail shrimp in the anemone. Plenty of light. Here's a couple of shots of crabs, and you can see really works well as a video light in that type of setup. It's not going to be strong enough for you to do big wide angle shots, probably even with two torches, but you can get some nice lighting effect with just a single light. And here I am on the jumbo. That video was uploaded recently. I've still got to get my light positioning correct to get rid of the backscatter, but you can see just with a single light I'm getting quite good coverage from the light there. With two lights it would be even better, of course. This is a crocodile fish on the night dive, just on the way back, and you can see just with a single light, plenty of light. Now this is on the Dara, and that video's hopefully will be up next week. And this is a hawksbill turtle, and I took some footage without the light. Now you can see I've got the light on because we've got the backscatter. But when I get up closer in a minute, you'll see how the turtle comes to life. Just with a single light, I've got the whole of the hawksbill turtle lit up, and I'm very pleased with that. Here we are on the east coast, and this is with quite a big lionfish, or I think in America you call them something turkey fish. But again, you know, these lights do work very well for an amateur videographer like myself.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. I enjoyed making this video. I really enjoyed playing around with my lumen tester or light box, whatever you want to call it. So the verdict, what do I think? How do I conclude? I think for the money, these torches are excellent value, even at their original price. I like them, and the main reason for that is you get a good long battery life on the rechargeable. I like them because I can use it on my camera setup, a GoPro setup, and it does shoot for me, for the type of stuff that I'm shooting, good enough light on, like you saw on the turtle, on the Dara and other stuff. I am going to try and use them as a double setup once I've got my rig balanced and some flotation arms. I like the fact that I can quickly go from wide to a narrow beam. So say I've got my, whoops, some water's come out of there from the test yesterday. So I can just have a look inside a wreck if there's a hole, or get in just to see what's there. I can look under for crabs and stuff, and then if I want to film anything, go back. I really like it that when I use it with my little small tripod setup, where I take the camera off the tray, I can put this down, switch it on. That I really like, because then I've got the GoPro separate with the macro lens on or the close-up, and I can just get the best angle and lots of light in there. So really, really good. I haven't mentioned before, but there is 3 settings. That's full power. Oops, you've got full power. You've got, I think it's half power, and then you've got, oops, you do have this like emergency strobe effect, which is, we do a lot of diving in currents, you know, so that's really nice. If you're on the surface, the boat can't see you, just have to put that up and flash, you know, they'll see you. So yeah, very versatile torch. I did find out they are made in China. Quite cheekily, they put a sticker inside the torch to tell you, but I'm not bothered with that. Tovatec's a good brand, they design good products, so it's fine with me. The only thing I have noticed, the one that I do use as a torch and put on the ground as a video light, that this like rubberized coating is coming off already. So you know, if you have a quick look there, you can actually see that. Now that for me is not a deal breaker. I mean, they've just tried something extra. Underneath, the anodized or coated aluminium still looks in good shape. But it started to wear around there. The one that I keep on my GoPro setup is fine. But if you give these some pretty heavy use like I have done with this one, that coating will come off. It's not a deal breaker for me. I mean, I think they're very good value lights. So yeah, I'll be keeping these. You know, I always wonder, you know, when I buy stuff to test, then I've got loads of stuff. But these are definitely a keeper. So I've got some other stuff coming up. I've been working on my camera setup. The Paralenz still isn't here. You know, October's going to be over soon. I'm desperate to have the Paralenz because I know everyone wants to see the Vaquita, right? I'm also working on a homemade tripod setup. Because Critter Hunter and Mateus, they were talking about tripods the other week. There's links to both to that video from Mateus below, and I've got a couple of ideas to make a homemade tripod because they're expensive, you know. So you know, I'm trying to bring underwater videography and photography to you as cost effectively as possible, and I will shortly. Now, once I've got the flotation buoyancy sorted out and the tripod, I'll probably then do a little summary of costs to date, how much I've spent. So yeah, exciting, lots of things coming on the channel. I'm also starting some live streams. I've got Scuba Tuber Live, where I interview YouTubers who specialise in scuba diving, so I've called it Scuba Tuber. That's good. Critter Hunter's volunteered to be the guinea pig in the first one, and I've got Let's Talk Tech coming up, and I've been extremely lucky to get hold of David Street, who is the owner of Dive Systems in the UK. He's also the inventor of the Proteus rebreather, and he's got some really good stories to tell. So those 2 interviews are coming up. Critter Hunters later today, and David's a week Saturday. So please join us on the live stream. Thanks for watching. I'm Brian Davis, as you all know. If you've enjoyed this video and this series, please hit the like and subscribe button. I get lots and lots of views, but about 70% of my viewers don't subscribe. Please subscribe.